Oh no, Zoe decided he wanted my chair. Okay, here, Zoe, you can stay on the chair. Ooh, okay, you go over there. All right, and we'll go to standing mode. All right, and then we can turn off cat cam because Zilby decided, he doesn't want to be there. What was that? Yeah, goodbye, Cato. Now he's on my chair, so there's no good cameras to sort of watch him now. But this is all part of Manager Cat's way to tell me that I need to switch to standing mode. Okay, so continuing on. Also, why am I so... Okay, there we go. Now we know how to focus. Back to Git. Git will pack files often. Most of your stuff will be packed. Okay, so let's take a look. So if we go into .git, we go into... So we have packed refs. Now you were suggesting that I look at... Oh, interesting. Ever run the git gc command? It optimally repacks your entire repo. No, I've never run that. Packs are just a bunch of commits jammed into one file so it stops screwing your file system over. Nice. Oh, I probably don't want to do this here. We want to do this to the repo we're trying to work with. So let's actually come over here and do that here. Here, we'll do git sample 3. Nope, okay. Not not everything I want. Git sample 3. Sure, HTTPS. It's the exact same thing we're doing here. So clone you down. Now, if we go into .git, now there's the packed refs. You very rarely ever need to manually run it. Git's pretty smart. It does seem to do a lot of things for us. Sometimes you might want to run it if you've mass pruned branches. It'll repack the remaining live commits. That I'm guessing that's one of the things where if it starts getting really slow, that's when you start to like run that kind of stuff. Now you were suggesting, okay, try git verify pack. Okay, so git objects. So if we go into git objects here, okay, so then there's pack, and then okay, we have these two pack files, a IDX and a pack. And if we take a look at them, they are a git pack index version 2 and a git pack version 2, 302 objects. Now, wait a second. If 302 objects, okay. So we know that is this one that we have now. Oh, and they're both exactly the same hash. Pack CED 88, okay. So one is an IDX and one is a pack. Okay. Now, if I head pack pack. Okay, so here's our pack dot x, and if we come back to u, there's our dot x because a bunch of bytes are not printable, but we turn them into like the version and everything else. They're two sides of the same coin. Interesting. So which one am I getting here? I would assume that I'm getting the pack. That would make sense. Yes, that's the pack. So knowing that I have the pack, you want to run that command on the IDX and you'll see a familiar set of data. Okay, let's try it. So if we also do this on IDX, no. Oh, the verify command. Oh, the verify command is the one that you recommended, right? So I can do git verify pack -v. Okay, so if I do git verify pack -v on that, so our first thing here would be this commit. Those numbers are the ones you think I'm trying to decode. These ones right here. Because they're the first ones that I'm getting. So the first one, okay, so the first one we have is indeed a commit. So it is a 1. And then what are those numbers? Now, this is a deltafied representation. I don't think that's right. Okay, so that's not correct. Yeah, so it is just the pack files. That's what we're looking at right now. So the next thing we have here is the type. So we know that the first thing, okay, so we now know for certain that the first thing that we're looking, oh, let's actually also check the pack file. So if we do verify pack, it should be the same thing, right? It is, okay. That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense that they're the same thing because they're the same hash. One is an IDX file and one is a pack file. And that's the only thing that's really different. Okay, so we have our commit. We know it's type commit. So I believe that the calculation is correct for the figuring out what the commit type is. So if we look at you, this is header U. This one gives us our type. So this is the type number. Now after that, for our first one, we have 1101. And we have 237, 162, and then 12 as our choices of what that number, like what that is here. I think. Because it could be not represented here either. That would be fun. And then let's see, documentation here. Now it's the length. So embed type and length. Now, because it's commit 1, it would always just be 4. That doesn't make any sense. You have absolutely no clue how to read this. This is very confusing to me. This is mostly confused. Okay, so the header is followed by number of object entries. So each object entry. So we know each one of these is an object entry, right? So we know this is the first object entry that we have. And so the first object entry has the 3-bit type, which we saw is 001. So 1, that's going to be a commit. And then length, which is the rest. So that would be a 4-bit type. 4-bit type. Okay, hold on. 3-bit type, so that's 4-bit. Okay, so it's not 4 minus bit. It's plus the 4-bit length. So it's n minus 1. So n byte type. What is n? Would that be 1? Or would that be... Oh, is it the length? Oh, okay. Josh Finney, hello. How are you doing today? So either this is what you're suggesting, Josh, and we have sort of been assuming in a previous that it is a commit. But that doesn't seem right because it would be a 0, right? It would just be 4. However, if it's the length from this, (1101). So let's do this math, right? So this is 1's position. So 1, 2, 4, 8. So 8 plus 4 is 12, 13. That still seems pretty small. So 13. So if I do 13 minus 1, that brings me to 12 times 7, which now... So we'll do 12 times 7, 84. So that would be 88 bytes. So then, okay, that would give me a length of 88. Let's actually calculate, let's do the calculation in here. So we have an enum object type. And so we have a commit. Okay, so input object type. Let's see, sub function new. And then we're going to hand it the bits. So bits, which would have to be, is this going to be a stir? It's going to be a weird stir thing. Okay, and if we do an unknown too. Ooh, okay. So Diablo, you found something from the GitHub blog. Interesting. Wait a second. Pack files and pack indexes. Is that linked to in here? Okay, wait. So this is github.com git. So we have that. These are from github.com. And then 2 more articles. So Git protocol packed. Okay, so we should have been rating these. Oh, so this is part of the getting it, right? To do the query? Yeah, I think so. Get format pack. Yeah, this is where, okay, the 4-byte version number. Here's this fun thing. Although this is just the text of the website, which is not really helpful. Now, if we come back to your thing, pack files and pack indexes. So each pack file is called a pack file. Each pack file stores multiple objects in compressed forms. Not only is each object compressed individually, they can also be compressed against each other to take advantage of common data. At its simplest, a pack file contains a concatenated list of objects. It only stores the object data, not the object ID. It is possible to read a pack file to find objects by object ID, but it requires decompressing and hashing each object to compare it to the input hash. Instead, each pack file is paired with a pack index file ending with IDX. The pack index file stores the list of object IDs in lexicographical order, so a quick binary search is sufficient to discover if an object ID is in the pack file. Then an offset value points to where the object's data begins within the pack file. The pack index operates like a query index that speeds up read queries that rely on the primary key, object ID. Okay? So we have our object ID coming in here. So 97, like the first 2 characters of that. And then we fan out from there to the various things. And then inside of the pack hash dot pack file, we have the type, length, and object content. Okay. One small optimization is that a fan-out table of 256 entries provides boundaries within the full list of object IDs based on their first byte. This reduces the time spent by the binary search, specifically by focusing the search on a smaller number of memory pages. This works particularly well because object IDs are uniformly distributed, so the fan-out ranges are well balanced. If we have a number of pack files, we can also ask each pack index in sequence to look up the object. A further enhancement to pack files is to put several pack indexes together in a single multi-pack index, which stores the same offset data plus. Basically, like when we're talking about indexes, this is not inherently all that different than database indexes, except instead of in a database, it's in a file system, like just files. So in a way, this is a rolled your own database, which isn't that bad at all. Linus invented a database, yes. And so if we think about, he did so by accident. He regrets it. Oh, did he say so? It's there's a common joke, which is like if you try to like program something without a framework, like a web app without a framework, or a backend app without a framework, after a while you'll realize that all you ended up doing was just accidentally inventing a new framework. That's usually what ends up happening. He kind of sort of did while giving the SQLite dude a backhanded compliment. Was during a Git Q&A a few years back. Oh, interesting. Okay. I wonder if SQLite would have worked. Fit, hello. How are you doing today? Lookups and prefixes work the same as in pack indexes. Okay, so next up, now we can skip the linear. So now what's happened? Okay, so when Git does a Git clone, they send the post request to get the objects, not the list of objects, the objects from GitHub. Well, in this case, it's GitHub, but it's whatever the Git server is. And we get back essentially a pack file, which is what we have now. The problem obviously being that I don't have an index to look things up here. I'm looking straight through pack and parsing through it. So you know the SQLite guy wrote his own VCS, right? It's Fossil. Uses SQLite internally for all the actual DB stuff. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. You're good though, struggling with SQL queries though, with SQLX. What about me? We're struggling with trying to create our own Git clone. And specifically reading through the pack file that we get from GitHub. So we've gotten to the point where we got the pack file, but it has a bunch of things in it. Specifically 302 things. Oh, you've been following on YouTube? Because, oh, well, I've now got, my streams now are on longer streams on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. So I'm gonna overlap with more people in different time zones, but very few people will be able to watch the entire stream because it's so long now. So it's like one of those like good and bad and both. But thank you for watching on YouTube. Pack files also have a hyper-specialized version of row compression called deltification. Since read queries are only indexed by the object ID, we can perform extra compression on the object data part. Okay. All right, so it goes into like why get. There are many ways to compute a difference between two blobs. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care about the two blobs. Okay, so this is turning into diffs, and I don't think I care about that. Okay, the pack file format. Now, okay, this link takes me to, cool. Ooh, documentation technical. That's interesting. So we have pack file URI. I don't think that's helpful. Oh, you discovered my channel through John Who's? Was it one of the like one of the advertisements, the things that show up on the side? Or did John Who actually show off my channel? That'd be, either way, it's pretty cool. Thank you, Fit. Yeah, I hope that it's a helpful gold mine and not false gold. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, you think you found code that does what I want. Wait, why is that an oh no? Oh, I'm on the Restation team on Twitch. Yes, I am on the Restation team. Yes. but not very much is in there. Sure, yeah, let's go ahead and link it, because at this point in time, I feel lost enough that I'm not going to figure this out on my own, I don't think. Or at least it's going to take a really long time. Ooh, okay, so it's on dev too. Interesting. Scroll to the index header. Oh, and you're now on the Quack website? Yeah, it got updated. Oh, suddenly Rust. The pack file index starts with the magic bytes 0xff bt b0bc. Okay, binary t0c. Table of contents. I like how the author put a question mark in here. This is followed by the version number 2 stored as a big endian 32-bit integer. There is a version 1 format as well, but we ignore it since Git no longer creates it. We'll start by asserting that the index file has the correct header. Yeah, interesting. So it is Rust. Okay, but I can ignore that because we got that out. And it runs successfully. Okay. The list of hashes. Recall that the index file acts as a map from the object hashes to offsets within a pack. It's structured much like a hash map. No pun intended. I'm not sure I get that it's a pun, but okay. The hash map has 256 buckets, and the first byte of an object's hash determines which one it falls into. Then, since multiple hashes can have the same first byte, each bucket contains a list of all the hashes. Wait a second. So is it stored? No, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Or at least I don't see the connection yet for like in memory in the file being stored as a hash map yet. Also, is it intended? Yes, unfortunately. So I had to turn off the music because my streams have been getting muted by Twitch. And if that happens, then there's some parts like where it's starting to yell at me on YouTube too. And I don't want to get a strike. So even though Pretzel claims that they won't do it, they won't go after me. Plenty of other music play people are as well, which sucks. So unfortunately, I don't think I can actually do anything about it. And some of them were being claimed like 8 times or more by different individuals. You're skimming the article. Lots of hilarious, weird Rust to deal with the hyper-optimized optimization Linus didn't need to do. Yeah. It's a thing. Okay, the hash map has 256 buckets, and the first byte of an object hash determines which one it falls into. Then, since multiple hashes can have the same first byte, each bucket contains a list of all the hashes with that first byte. The hashes, okay, so that's great. Okay, read it. Right, but this is reading a pack file index, which is not what I'm getting. I'm getting like the pack file itself, which I'm not sure is helpful. Yeah, YouTube does have a big music scam issue. It completely and totally sucks. I've been watching other people who like have licenses for music, and YouTube will still strike them / like other problems, and you have to constantly go in and counter it, and then it may or may not be countered properly, and so it really sucks. And that includes royalty-free music too. Yeah. Heck, if I wrote my own music, people would probably still attempt to claim it. A lot of content creators have just left YouTube entirely. Yeah. No, it's true. So like for me, it's I'm just doing no music right now. If there was an alternative to YouTube that enough people would actually be able to find me on that also didn't have any other major problems, I might end up going for that. But I think the real issue is just not really try to have YouTube be the primary source of income for Brooks Builds. I think it would have like that's where building the courses and selling those I think are going to come in, because I think that's going to be a much more reliable, nobody else can like kick me off of my own platform. So I can own that. I can totally see that, Diablo. I can absolutely see that happening. PeerTube, I have never heard of that. I will add that into my list of things to check out. The other thing that I might also do is just do all of them, right? Like I have Restream. Restream allows me to, like, if I haven't paid Restream yet, because I'm just doing to Twitch and YouTube. But if I found alternatives to stream to that were good, I can do, I think, up to 8 at one time. So we could just do a giant experiment where I stream to all of the different streaming places at the same time and just sort of like see which ones are like we actually like. Okay, so the object offsets. Following the list of objects, there's 2 more. Okay, but that's not helpful. So they're still reading the index itself, and I don't have an index. PeerTube is a federated activity pub protocol for a YouTube clone, same vein as Mastodon and Lemmy for Twitter and Reddit. I know a little bit about that, but I don't really understand what that really means, like in a actual like use case. I guess I would still need to look at the to make sure that like I still own stuff if I stream on there, things like that. It means you can't kill it, but you aren't beholden to bad actors either. Okay, they can handle 1,000. They can't handle more than 1,000 people, which right now I don't need to worry about. But maybe someday I will. Wait, it's if it is set. Okay, so the most significant bit of the 32-bit pack offset indicates whether a 64-bit offset is needed. If it is set, the value is instead an index into a list of 64-bit offsets directly after. What? Okay. PeerTube has issues because of how it stores data. It's using one of the popular distributed CDNs to handle it. It's not required to, though. A user can host their own files and pay for their own bandwidth normally. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I would have to check to see how expensive that was. Because right now, Brooks Builds is being paid for by everything that I'm getting. So a combination of subscribers here on Twitch, advertisements on YouTube, are and of course like the course purchases have paid for are currently paying for everything to like host the web app and like host everything else. And so that's good. I'm not losing. I technically am profitable, even though it's a very it's not enough to like live on. But it's like I can, yeah, hey, if I'm not losing money every month, that's a good thing, right? I would have to like make sure I don't go below that if I was to like self-host the videos. But I'm also recording these for my own use case for like cutting up videos anyway, so I would be able to just take those and store them up somewhere else. So that could be interesting. Yeah, if I'm smart about it, bandwidth is cheap. Yeah, so I could do some fun things with, like, let's say if I put it onto S3 and then put CloudFront in front of that and cached it with maximum cache, that would be, I think, as cheap as I can possibly get if I use AWS. And I'm sure that there's other services out there too that might be cheaper. Azure might have something that I could use. I don't know if I want to look up an offset object. Do I? Or wait, do I? No, because I'm still, okay, so this is the problem, is that this is all index stuff. And now it's like, okay, now figure out where it is in the pack file. That doesn't help. So you're in the hosting industry, just straight up running your own server that just has a static content serving HTTP server is cheaper than any of them. Oh, I could just set up a VPS. The big thing is that I can't do this out of my house because I need to be more protected than that. So I can't do it out of my house. But if I set up a VPS somewhere with decent enough network, then I would probably do that. Yeah, I could just do a VPS. And there's plenty of VPSs, especially if I prepay them on AWS, that I can get for extremely cheap. Okay, but okay, so it's almost like what I need to do is create an IDX from a pack file. Huh, I wonder if that makes. I mean, that makes total sense, Diablo. Okay, so here we are, pack file stuff. After the IDX, okay, so after we find out where it is, the pack file data for an object, much like an unpacked object, starts with its type and size. However, where an unpacked object would have a header, like commit, blah, 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 the packed object needs only 2 bytes for this information. Oh, 2 bytes for this information. As in several other places in pack files, Git stores the type and length as a variable length integer. Variable length integers allow arbitrary large values while using few bytes in the common case of small values. This is very similar to how UTF-8 works. Specifically, Git uses the upper bit of each byte to specify whether there are additional bytes and the remaining 7 bits as data. For example, the bytes 0B1XXX, okay, represent the integer oh, I need 2 bytes for it to combine them together. Oh, I wonder if that's why the sizes are weird. Okay, so hold on. Before I even go to any, oh no, I didn't want to go there. Before we go any further, if we have our object type header would actually be this, which unfortunately is now, I now need the two together. Okay, so of course, how am I, how do I want to do this? Well, here's the problem, Diablo, is I don't have a index, right? I don't have an index. Because when I do the query, I get the pack file. So maybe the first thing I need to do is create an index from the pack file. Like, how do I get the index? Do the query, how do I query for an, that would be the next thing. How do I query for an index? So this is getting the pack file. And this gets me the pack. Well, right. So when you do get clone a directory, you get both the index and a pack file. But what I'm curious about is, do you actually get the index from GitHub, or do you get the pack file and it creates the index from the pack file? That's the question I'm getting. Is like, because if it creates the index from the pack file, then that's going to be the first thing I need to do is create the index. And then I can use the index to get everything else, right? It would be an optimization of minor one to recreate the indexes. And so, because here's what I've got. I do this query here, and then I get the pack file. And so this is the pack file. But the index has metadata that's not in the pack, but Git has to know how to read write index in packs because the files are not immutable. Yeah. Yes. Now, I guess like the other thing is that this provides potentially multiple pack files. So if I did want this, and then I also did 032 want, and then I think there's 2 commits in here. So if we find, okay, this one. Okay, so we have 2 commits. So we got 23. So I want this one. That one. Okay, so now I want both of these 2, and I send you. So this is 20.5 kilobytes. Now, okay, same size. Can I find pack in here? Okay, so pack. This search is terrible. I can't tell how many, if it can find that pack again. It can't. Okay. So maybe it's only one pack file with both the commits in it. I'm not sure. If I do the other one here, we can go into a bigger one. You only seem to have one pack file in your demo Git repo. Yeah. Well, I think that's because maybe it's because they're related to each other. Yeah, you're right. Because when we do our when we do our get info, there's just this one. This is the only one that we can get. So that's it. However, Ben, hello. How are you doing today? However, if I were to go find... Here's our genetic password guess. Let's see what this one gives us. Oh, just one still. Okay, that's not helpful. I need something with like a lot more stuff. Okay, learning game design patterns. We did a bunch of stuff here. Maybe this is more complex. There. This has a lot of things. So now if I say I want... So 1, 2, 3, 4. Twisted Seed, hello. How are you doing today? And thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it's -4, right? So this starts with CB. I think so. So if I get, I need to do, okay, so get this one here. And then I want you. Okay, so I want you and nothing else. So I get 4.4 megabytes. Okay. And let's say I want this pull request too. So I want you in as well. Nope. I wonder if because this is off of their master branch and I did a good job of merging everything in, that there's nothing else for me to add in. Oh, you're doing well? Excellent. That's good to hear. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that I know of that gives me something else. So I bet no matter what, this is all no matter what, it's going to be like the full thing because I'm going after, oh, maybe I can go after something else. So like instead of the master branch, what if I go after you instead? So I just say, hey, I want this. So that's a really tiny one. Did I finish TIS 100? Yes. So I finished all but one of the puzzles for TIS 100 with the sorting sequence being just, we couldn't figure it out. And so I skipped it. And we're going after and then we did everything else. So I'm skipping the TIS net puzzles. Those are user created ones. I didn't want to go after those. I found somebody who did the TIS 100 sorting sequence one correctly. So I put that into TIS 100, verified that it worked, and I think we can just go over it really quickly on Wednesday before I do the main part of the next stream. Main part of that stream. Okay, so if I do that and then we do another pull request here. So you are 114.3. Oh, now you're 4.3 megabytes. Interesting. Okay. Because you needed like something a lot more. And I'm not really sure what this is. So is there like multiple packs in here? No, there's not multiple packs in there. Oh, you think I might be right? Git generates the index. Okay. So that's good to know. I'm not supposed to be able to grab... Okay, so there's no way for me to get the index first and then get it out. So this is the internal command to do the fetch. Download a remote Git repository via HTTP. Okay. So does a git fetch. This command always gets all objects. Instead of a commit ID on the command line, fetches the pack file directly at the given URL and uses index pack to generate corresponding index and keep files. The hash is used to determine the name of the temporary file and is arbitrary. Interesting. Okay. And then it also generates the index. Yeah. Okay. So to do this, we'll need to... I need to first generate the index. Do I need to generate the index? Or do I just go through the pack file in order from beginning to end and then just do that? The other thing is that I know that the first thing in the pack file is going to be the commit. Not just the commit, the most recent commit. Yeah, I know. It's the big thing though is that I'm not really trying to be a compatible Git client. I'm trying to pass the tests that CodeCrafters has. So it's quite possible that I don't need the index, but also maybe I do. I don't really know. I do know that in the logs, it's attempting to... It runs this command for me. So it runs clone and then hands it one of several different URLs. It then, I think, CDs into the directory. And then it's like, okay, the repository doesn't exist. So it's supposed to do something in there. And it's checking for something. Now, I don't know if it's checking for all of the branches or anything else that's being created. I don't even think there are other branches. I think it's checking to make sure that the latest files were created and that was it. So perhaps, well, I don't know. There's a lot of sort of like things to think of, and my brain has started to fade now. I noticed that I'm starting to like have trouble with words. So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to go. Do I know the bacon utility? I don't think I do. What is the bacon utility? Oh, okay. So there's a get internals part 3, building an index file. Okay, interesting. It's a watch for your cargo project, and you can run Clippy automatically when you edit a file. What's the difference then between that and Cargo Watch? Because I use Cargo Watch right now. And I used to, but I didn't. I think I turned it off for some reason to use Clippy. Isn't Cargo Watch written? Yeah, I can run Clippy from Rust Analyzer, which is what I used to do. And I can also run, isn't Cargo Watch written in Rust? Yeah, okay. So I guess I don't really understand is it just an alternative, like a different command, a different program to watch your stuff and then run commands with it? I've been really happy with Cargo Watch. So I keep on using that. In fact, I've added it into several of my courses of like, here, use this for like just rerunning stuff if you want. Okay. I want to, maybe for the rest of today, let's see if we can get it to get past this error and get to the very next thing. Okay, you think it would be an alternative. That makes sense. I'm pretty happy with Watch though, so I don't know if I'm gonna, it's just a fancier watch. Okay. I mean, I can add it to my list of things to check out someday. So what is it? Cargo Bacon? For watching code spaces? Okay, so all I need to do is create the directory and then run init, which of course is gonna be a problem. So here we have problems. See, let's commit ref. Okay, so commit type. Let's not worry about this right now. We'll come back and do this. Let's not worry about this right now. I'll come back and do this too. I'll throw a to-do in here. And then, okay, so for clone, we get the target directory. We create the target directory. Then I do a bunch of stuff that I don't need to do right now. I'm messing up my code base, but it's fine. So then I want to run init from here. So I want to run, but we don't have this. Okay, so problem is in source init, this creates a directory .get. So I probably need to now pass it a path, which would be a path buff. Path buff. And then we'll join like .get and then create that directory. Okay, I think we can do this. Ads are starting in 3 minutes or so. And I think I'll let these ones go because I've already snooped them like once or twice. So sorry, Diablo, if you get hit one more time. Oh, is that from Discord's Rust channel? Or, oh, IRC. I have not played with IRC in years. Let's see. Fit, will I be doing RabbitMQ or Stripe content in Rust? Those are very different things. So RabbitMQ is a message queuing system, right? For like sending messages to be then just done on other services. I've never done that before. I could. Let me add RabbitMQ into my list of like things to like check out / like, you know, do something with. So RabbitMQ. Now Stripe, I integrated Stripe into my LMS. So I'm using Stripe for all the payment stuff. And I mean, that works out really well. I am not doing it like the best possible like use case ways, but it works pretty solidly. So I'm happy about that. I don't know how much I can really do Stripe as a live course because I'm too scared of exposing something. So maybe course on Stripe with Rust. A lot of question marks in that one. So maybe I'll add it to my list, but obviously with a lot of these things, it's they're always maybes. Oh, Corona, you left a message in Discord. Let me take a look. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll answer later on. The problem I have is time-based things. I do eventually someday have plans for that, but I don't know. Did the ads come and go? They haven't started yet. They're starting in 45 seconds, which minus like a 4-second delay or less than that, depending upon which platform you're on, should be hitting you by the time you hear this any second. Yeah, so yeah, I'll try to respond a little bit better afterwards. Let me see. How do I, yeah, mark on red. There we go. Okay, so if I get this path buff, okay, so so I want to maybe make this mutable, take ownership of it, make it mutable, and then I can push. So I can say, hey, we take our path and I want to push in .get. And then I want to create the directory with path. Now, do I give ownership of view? So I probably want to just clone it. Wait, can I give you a reference? That'd be even better. Ooh, I can't. Okay. So that gives me .get. And then I want to do the same thing now here. We're going to do a path. And now we push objects. And we're going to create this as a directory. So path. Okay. But the problem is, okay, so get and then objects. So then I want to do path and then let's do, what I really want to do is now clone this. So we're going to do objects equals. So we're going to clone you first. We push objects into objects, and then okay, so then we create directory objects, and then we're going to create a directory called refs under git. And we're going to create you. Okay, and then we're going to write to a file. So this is going to be head. So we're going to push head into there. And we're going to write this to head, and we're okay. That goes into there. Unwrap, and we've initialized get directory. Okay. Okay. Diablo is giving us a rundown of the advertisements. So taxes, Taco Bell, internet, Pilot G2 pens for women, M&Ms, University of Phoenix. You're right. I thought that was shut down. The Bitter Owen, hello. How are you doing today? You survived the ads. Welcome back. You only ever got ads for films on Prime Video while you were on Twitch. Oh, interesting. It's the reason why it's probably 12 ads is because I have it set to do 3 minutes worth of ads every 1 hour, as opposed to like 30 seconds of ads every 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, because Twitch tells me that I have to do 3 minutes of ads every hour. The worst part is sometimes it screws up and plays 2 ads at the same time. Oh, Twitch. Well, it's Twitch being twitchy. Okay, so now if I do this, I should now be able to create a path of where I want to do this, and then we init at that point. So in clone, I have the target directory as a path. Which starts here and then joins target directory. Okay, that's good. I do create target directory, and so now I want to do an init function and pass it the target directory. So that should work. We do have some errors though, because in main, it's calling init and it's not passing in the proper target directory. So it's just this here. So I need to update this. We need to first figure out what our path is. So that should be fairly simple. We just want our current path, right? So let path equals, I need a path buff new. I don't know if I can do new default with that. And then we're going to call init and hand it the path. Okay. There is no errors anymore. So if I... okay. If we go into my desktop, okay, there's our get sample 3. If we cd into get sample 3, there is nothing in here. Worst part is it's not Twitch in the browser screen up, it's Twitch on the phone, which is their own app. Oh, that's fun. You sometimes have 2 of me on the homepage? Wait, oh, because they have the recommended things on the bottom. Interesting. I've never seen 2 of somebody on the homepage before. That is some serious shade. Even Google makes better products when they want to. That is some pretty serious shade, because I have a lot of beef with Google products too. You've seen Togglebit like 3 times once. Oh, that's fun. I guess I do. I follow a lot of people And I think there's also some people I've watched that I don't follow, and like Twitch figures that out and then just puts a bunch of stuff out there. Plus they put things out there that I've never watched, or like maybe like I was like, okay, let me do research on like this type of thing, and now just random weird stuff starts showing. Okay, so if I do a cargo run, so this is going to get sample 3, and I'm sending it to desktop get sample 3. Initialized. Okay, so we've initialized the directory. And so if I go back into get sample 3, hey, there's a get there. Okay. So let's git commit. All we did was git init in the directory we created. Nothing else. For real. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and push this up. We have a bunch of warnings in here, but it shouldn't matter. This should still show it. I'm hoping that it gets past the test that we have right now. But this might take a while too, because it's the first time I've run this today. And of course, it's taking a really long time. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now it's snappy. Hopefully also I didn't break the rest of the init, which would be the first test. So if it breaks in a first test, then obviously we have to fix that. So while we're waiting, question for all of you. If you do watch the VODs on YouTube, because obviously 6-hour VODs are not watchable, they're just too much. They're just too big. What size would you prefer me to break them into? Because I could do like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour long, and then just have like, a little end screen at the end of like, okay, continued on the next day, or continue to be continued. But I need to know, I'm trying to figure out what the time frame that I want to cut them up into is. The problem with cutting, I can't really cut them up by topic, because sometimes a topic that I'm working on is way more than an hour. Sometimes it's the entire stream, so that's not really helpful. Okay, cool. So we got past that section. Split on each break, so an hour. So basic, that would be 1 hour then. Yeah, I think that would work. And if I click like the delay, that might be a little bit more than an hour too. Or if I do the break early, then yeah, I think that could work. Okay, so okay, so it got past. Oh, interesting. Okay, so running tests, write a tree object, so that's 5. Creating some files and directories. Okay, so that's the write tree object test. Oh, so actually stage 5 passed. Oh, sorry, stage 5 tests failed. Reading file at this. Oh, so I broke something. I broke something with this. I'm pretty sure I know what I broke. Where's my healer? There it is. I'm pretty sure that in utils, I left this. Okay, so I need to actually compress it. Yeah, Albert, you got it. I need to actually compress it again. And I think that was the only thing that we did. Compressing get objects when saving them. Okay, let's try this again. It should be significantly faster this time. Okay, we're now testing on stage 7. All right, so stage 7. Running clone hands it, in this case, get sample to test directory. It then runs the command get cat file commit that. Okay. Get cat file commit b52. Okay, so they're going to, this was number 2. They have 4 commits on this one. And this one was B521B. The first, okay, so they then tried to do a cat, so I won't be able to get away with just writing 1 commit. I won't be able to get away with just doing the latest commit. They're trying to find the first commit here. And it could even be random which ones they're grabbing. So they want to get a cat file of that. So interesting. Okay. And then each time I push this, that should, my guess is that it's going to be a different commit. Now, in order to like, okay, so object not found, test failed. So I need to extract all the commits from the pack file and then deal with it. And maybe put each stream in their own playlist so they are watchable back to back without relying on YouTube suggesting the right video. So far, that's what I've been doing. I've only been editing the Git, like this series, and I'm to the LS. I'm in the middle of the LS tree ones, and so those are a little bit less than 1 hour each so far, and I'm about to get to the point where the stream. Oh, I'm to the point where the streams are over 1.5 hours each. And so now I'm starting to have to like make the decision of like, oh, okay, now I have to cut it at like a specific time. So I'm thinking that's where like the cut at 1 hour, the 1 hour comes in. I think like the first one I didn't even take a break, and it was a 2.5 hour stream. That was on New Year's Day, I think. Something like that. So anyways, I'll be playing around with it. But yeah, those are definitely going into the CodeCrafters Git, build your own Git playlist. So that way you can just watch them all in order. Okay, so this is, okay, so we need to, object not found, test failed, so we need to create a commit file from the pack file. Okay, that's good to know. Obviously, the problem here is all 6 parts of a single stream in one playlist that the whole 6-hour stream can be watched in one go. Oh, to create like a playlist for each part? Oh, I was thinking about a playlist for each topic, each project. I hadn't thought about like a playlist for each stream. 6 hours of cat harassment ASMR. Zilby doesn't make much sound when he harasses us, so I don't know how much that would be helpful. It would just be silence. Maybe I can get a really good portable microphone and follow him around until he like I can get him purring really loudly into the mic, and then we can like use that somewhere. All right. Anyways, back to this. We're going to have to figure out how to get this, how to get every commit out of the pack file, which to what we were talking about Diablo is going to be creating the, I don't think we have to create the index. But we do have to read through the pack file and extract out each thing and then do something with each thing that we extract out. All right. I think I'm going to end the stream too, because my brain is really tired. I can't do this part right now. So we're going to continue on with this next week. But I think we're at a much better place. So I'm going to store, I'm not sure, I'm out of brain for today. Yeah. These ones, Mondays are my really hard days because it's like, these are brain heavy days. Now, tomorrow is going to be a continuation, actually tomorrow and Wednesday, because we're done with TIS. So what I've decided to do is instead of starting a new game, I'm just going to like keep on working on different stuff until I get them all done. Right. So Monday is going to be continuation of the Git project. And then Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be a continuation of the Docker course. It's a Monday, naturally hard. Exactly. So we're doing hard things on a hard day. So tomorrow and Wednesday, we're going to be continuing to create the Docker course. And then it's going to become a race. Do I finish this project before I finish the Docker course, or the other way around? Whichever one gets finished first will then switch over to like continue on. So eventually all 3 days will be on one project. Exactly, it's a race. Also, hello, Coffee. How are you doing today? So that'll be fun. All right, let's see. I think next time I'm just going to have to rerun this, and that'll be my reminder of like what we're doing and why we're doing it. And now this is already in the log, so I can just go online and then log that. Okay. So that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, I guess like there's several different things. If you're enjoying what you're watching, and you want to get notifications more, go ahead and follow the channel. It's subscribing on YouTube and it's following on Twitch. If you really liked this project and you want to do it yourself and you have money for it, then I do have a link to try it out. It's in the YouTube description. Then also you can use the CodeCrafters. Yes, you got it, Coffee. Thank you so much for that. You have the link for that. And if you do end up purchasing for that, through that link, I do get some of that for me through the affiliate. And then beyond that, I don't really have anything else. So I'm really tired. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, to go get some snacks, play with Zilby maybe a little bit. And as I mentioned, I'll be streaming again at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow and Wednesday this week. And we'll be continuing on with the Docker course. So if you're interested in Docker for web developers, I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Beyond that, have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you next time. Bye.